I once called my nanny Mummy. Follow me.
On the other hand, because his hands often trembled, Oscar went alone to the hospital for a checkup. After the examination, the doctor diagnosed him with pancreatic cancer, giving him only a 20% chance of surviving the next 5 years. For a 75-year-old man, that could still be considered quite good. When he returned from the hospital, Oscar found Rose tidying up their room. With excitement, Rose told him that she wanted to prepare a baby's room. Oscar was completely stunned by her words. Rose then explained that they had been given the novice drug for both of them. This meant that if they successfully became young again in a few months, they could finally start the long-delayed journey of having a child. But instead of being happy, Oscar was terrified, knowing he had just been diagnosed with cancer. Sadly, he chose not to tell Rose about his illness. A few days later, a nurse came to take Rose's blood sample. Before consuming Novice, her health needed to be confirmed as safe. When the nurse tried to take Oscar's blood as well, he refused, saying he would only do it if the drug worked on Rose first. Rose asked her husband, "Why, dear, what's wrong?" Oscar replied that he had no regrets about the life he had shared with her. He didn't want to relive any moment of it, which meant he had no intention of ever taking the drug. Later, Rose had another interview with Jim. There, Jim explained that Novice was not only capable of slowing aging but also rejuvenating cells and even curing some illnesses. However, if the drug were made public, pharmaceutical companies would collapse. The only problem was that Novice could also accelerate cancer cell activity. Therefore, cancer patients could never take the drug. Jim also revealed that he had stolen the formula from the pharmaceutical company where he once worked. He had discovered the compound, but after being abruptly fired, he secretly stole it and continued developing it on his own. If Novice ever reached the public, his life would be in grave danger. A few days later, Oscar and Rose attended the funeral of Jen's husband, the cheerful old woman they knew. But surprisingly, Jen didn't grieve. Instead, she felt relieved and couldn't wait to travel to Thailand for plastic surgery, hoping to find herself a younger husband. Since Oscar kept refusing to take Novice, and Rose deeply regretted never having children, she decided to adopt Anna. Her plan was to spark Oscar's paternal desire so that, once awakened, he might finally agree to take Novice. Not long after, Jim returned and announced that Rose had passed her medical tests, meaning she was now ready to take Novice. He instructed her to drink just 1 drop daily, which would make her 10 years younger after a month, and so on. Rose then began taking the drops faithfully. Soon after, Oscar complained to Rose about suddenly bringing Anna into their home. The once quiet house had become noisy, with Anna screaming and acting out due to withdrawal. Calmly, Rose explained that since Oscar had always wanted a child, this was his chance to learn parenting by taking care of Anna. But of course, Oscar wanted a child born from Rose's womb from both of them, not from someone else. Rose calmly replied that if Oscar truly wanted that, then he had no choice but to take Novice. Eventually, fed up and unable to take it anymore, Oscar went to check on Anna. He found her rummaging through the room, clearly searching for Novice drops to ease her withdrawal. When Oscar confronted her, Anna pretended she was just looking for a phone. Realizing the truth, Oscar locked her inside the room. The next day, when they checked on her again, Oscar's study had been completely wrecked. At first, Rose thought her husband would be furious, but he wasn't. Seeing Anna's pitiful condition awakened Oscar's fatherly instincts, and together, he and Rose began caring for Anna as if she were their own daughter. Months passed, and Rose continued drinking Novice daily. Slowly, what she had dreamed of began to come true. With the help of herbal flower baths, Rose's body became youthful again, looking no older than a woman in her 30s.